In the news tonight, President Buhari, Governor Obiano, others express hope for a better, stronger and united Nigeria as the country turns 58. Anambra head teacher emerges best school administrator in Nigeria. APC again shifts Guba primaries in Lagos, other two states. And on the foreign scene, US, Mexico, Canada close deal to replace NAFTA. Good evening and thanks for joining us on ABS Television News. I am Franklin Onyekachi. Happy Independence Anniversary. Now the news in details. President Muhammadu Buhari has warned Nigerians to beware of disruptive forces which he said were hidden in social media. Buhari stated this in his national broadcast aired this morning to mark the nation's 58th independence anniversary. He urged Nigerians to all rise to the responsibility of shutting out those disruptive and corrosive forces that hide in today's world of social media that pose a great challenge to the corporate existence of the country. He said the country needs critical minds and independent thinkers to question information until facts are established. Otherwise, all the progress made as a democratic nation since 1999 will be lost. Governor Willie Obiano says the 58th independence anniversary of the country calls for more sober reflection on the situation of the country. Governor Obiano made the statement during the independence anniversary celebration held at the Dr. Alex Ekweme Square, Oka. Correspondent Chibuzo Okoye completes the story.
Address at the event, Governor Obiano said that the 58 years existence as a country shows that Nigeria have come a long way together. He said that the country have survived long periods of doubts and uncertainties, as well as survived a brutal civil war. Governor Obiano further noted that every great nation goes through cycles of doubts, mutual suspicions, and even civil wars, as most countries in Europe and America passed through these rugged paths to become the economic and democratic marvels that they are today, and pointed out that Nigeria will get better. He said that the anniversary, which comes barely 4 months to the next general elections, is therefore a very important one, as it called for a sober reflection by everyone, more especially from the political, religious, and traditional rulers, journalists, members of the civil society, the security agencies, opinion leaders, and Nigerians from all walks of life. Governor maintained that 2019 is a watershed in the evolution of Nigeria as a democratic country, and political leaders must always remember that Nigeria is bigger than the private ambition of any individual, no matter how highly placed, stating that as Nigerians file out for various electoral positions in the ongoing party primaries across the country, they must remember that Nigeria comes first.
Fellow Nigerians, this is not a strange story. Every great nation goes through these cycles of doubts, mutual suspicions, and even civil wars. Most countries in Europe, America pass through these rugged paths to become the economic and domestic marvels that they are today. So, fellow compatriots, don't be afraid, because it is well with Nigeria. Nigerians, as the 2019 general elections draw closer, we must all seek the face of God in prayers. We must ask God to guide our nation on the right path and to give our leaders the wisdom to make the right decisions that will be in the best interest of Nigeria.
Governor Obiano further said that his administration has established a template for democratic excellence, harnessed the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA) into a model democratic platform that have a robust democratic culture that is deeply rooted in brotherhood and progress. According to the governor, Nigeria is old and wise enough to handle all her internal differences and family disagreements in a manner that will not threaten the corporate existence of Nigeria as a one united country.
So, as we prepare for our coming party primaries, we must not lose sight of the fact that it is a family affair. Of course, we shall have our usual differences. That is the soul of every democratic culture. But we must not let our individual differences and political disagreements overrun the great promise of our party. We shall settle all our differences in brotherhood and love. That has always been our strength. I wish you all a happy Independence Anniversary celebrations. God bless Anambra State. God bless Nigeria.
The anniversary celebration featured march past among other cultural displays in Oka. I am Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
Still on Nigeria 58 Independence Day celebration, more citizens are canvassing for equitable distribution of democracy dividends in the country for peaceful coexistence. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo, who solicited the reactions of some respondents on the occasion, completes the story.
Nigeria has, since its freedom from external forces in 1960, fared well in certain areas. However, there are lots of challenges and issues which threaten its stability and indivisibility as a nation. They include insurgency, tribal and religious disputes, deterioration of the economy, among others. Speaking on the country's 58th-year anniversary, an elder statesman from Awa in Orumba North local government area, Chief Donatus Nwafo, expressed worry over the continuous degradation of all facets of the nation's economy, calling on the leaders, especially at the national levels, to always show love and equal treatment to all the tribes that make up the country. For the Vicar of St. Mary's Anglican Church, Nri, Reverend Canon Ruben Okafo, Nigeria has nothing to celebrate as a nation owing to her worsening economic and security situation. He said citizens should use the period to seek for divine mercy and intervention for the country's predicaments.
It's not need for us to celebrate. We should be in agony. We should be praying this time around for God to have mercy on us. Because if actually we are celebrating the anniversary, we should have something to reckon on. What is it? Instead of insecurity, what do we have to celebrate? There's nothing to celebrate. But rather, I said that 1st October should be when Nigeria should come together and remember their Creator and remember God, because we've lost focus. Because John 15 verse 5 it says, apart from me, you can do nothing.
Speaking, Chief Kenechukwu Ebekam from Okpeze in Orumba North local government area observed that peace brings development and progress, and as such, for Nigeria to exit the retrogressive stage, the leaders must embrace styles of leadership that will engender peace and unity amongst the citizens. I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province of the Niger, and Anglican Bishop of Nnewi Diocese, Most Reverend Godwin Okpala, has called on the federal government to abide by the federal character principle in giving appointments. The Archbishop made the call while speaking to the ABS at the Archbishop's office in Nnewi on the nation's 58th independence anniversary. We have details.
Reverend Okpala regretted that most federal appointments, especially that of security chiefs, fall short of federal character principles and called for measures to address the ugly trend. The Anglican prelate described the nation's 58th independence anniversary as one that calls for sober reflection and urged Nigerians to see themselves as one, irrespective of ethnic, tribe, or political inclination.
It is unfortunate to begin to analyze Nigeria at 58. One would have thought that at 58, everything would have been very fine. We will have good government, we have good infrastructure, and everything will be working as it should. Me, Nigeria has not impressed me. The 58 years they have spent, if you look at the structures, they don't show it. Nigeria looks like a child who is just coming up, or at worst, a child that has refused to grow.
Most Reverend Okpala advised the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to provide a level playing ground for all the political parties as the 2019 general elections approach to guarantee free and fair elections.
So there is no way that you can get it right if you do not start from the grassroots to produce leaders by this primary attempt. Because there is in the constitution that there will be primary, but now They are trying to bypass primary by appointing and by doing this or this, direct or indirect or so on. And by so doing, they create loophole for cheating. And if they cheat at that level, then the election will never be right. So Nigeria is just playing a dirty game which we do not like.
Christians have been urged to eschew all forms of sin as they are capable of denying them access to God's eternal kingdom. Francis Cardinal Arinze gave the advice in a homily at All Saints Catholic Church in Mpo. Emmanuel Chibata has a report.
Francis Cardinal Arinze, whose message was on "He that is not against us is for us," stressed that the only way to be free from sins and destruction is through prayers and supplication. He stated that even though sins appear to give pleasure for a while, the Bible clearly warns that it eventually leads to death. The Catholic prelate, who said that God designed his commandment for man's protection and blessings, appealed to the church to renew their basis of personal relationship with God in order to rejoice at last. On his message to Nigerians on the nation's 58th independence anniversary, Francis Cardinal Arinze called on Nigerians to contribute their quota immensely for the development of the nation and not to be onlookers.
Every Nigerian should ask himself or herself, what have I done for my country? What do I contribute so that Nigeria will go in peace and progress? Everyone should contribute. No one should be an onlooker. So Nigeria is our country. All of us are called to contribute. God bless you.
On his part, the parish priest of the church, Very Reverend Father Theophilus Odukwe, appreciated the cardinal for coming to the Eucharistic service, stating that his presence will result to blessings to the lives of the congregation. From All Saints Catholic Church, Mpo, I am Emmanuel Shubata, reporting for ABS News.
Mrs. Ezenwa Grace Amarachukwu, the head teacher of Awada Primary School, Obosi, Idemili North Local Government Area, has won the Best School Administrator Award in Nigeria for 2018, while Mrs. Ikegwani Vera Uju of Anglican Girls Grammar School, Onitsha, took the 4th Best Administrator Award in Nigeria 2018. Mrs. Ezenwa also is the overall winner among all the other categories in 2018. President's Teachers and Schools Excellence Award, PTSEA, which will be celebrated in Abuja from the 4th to the 6th of October 2018, is an annual event where the federal government celebrates Nigerian teachers and presents awards to winners in different categories, such as Best Schools, Best Teachers, Best Administrator for head teachers and principals. It will be recalled that a teacher from Anambra State, Mr. Clement Okodo of Central School, Abagana, won the overall Best Teacher Award in Nigeria in 2017. A letter conveying the good news from the Federal Ministry of Education, signed on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Education by the Director of Education Support Services, Mrs. J.N. Ibe, to the Commissioner for Basic Education in Anambra State, Professor Kate Omenora, announced that the awards proper will take place during the 2018 Teachers' Day celebration. Professor Omenora described the news as exciting, saying Anambra education sector has continued to make and create waves under the watch of Governor Willie Obiano. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has again shifted the governorship primaries in Lagos, Enugu, and Adamawa states. This was announced in a statement by the acting National Publicity Secretary of the party, Mr. Yekini Nabena, in the afternoon. The primary for Lagos will now take place on Tuesday, October 2, 2018, while that of Enugu and Adamawa State will be on Thursday, October 4. Protests and gunshots rocked the University of Nigeria Enugu campus venue of the APC primaries yesterday in Enugu, while in Lagos, the late moves by Governor Akinwumi Ambode to secure the party's ticket against his erstwhile boss's wishes, Bola Tinubu, continues to challenge the success of the primaries in Lagos. Amobia community was agog when her sons and daughters at home and in the diaspora, friends and well-wishers, as well as government functionaries gathered for the 2018 annual Iwaji Festival. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke was there and tells us more.
The event, which took place at Okpaligwe Square, Anambra, featured dance by other title holders as masquerades thrilled the audience. The annual Iwaji Festival provided avenue for the guests to savour roasted new yam served with local sauce made of otazu, pepper, palm oil and okpaka. While performing the Iwaji ritual, the chairman on the occasion, Ozo Edunwokoye, expressed gratitude to God for bumper harvest this year and explained that in the days of their forefathers it was called Otite, but following the new trend, it is now Iwaji, which marks the planting and harvesting seasons of farm produce for early farming within the country, especially in Igbo.
An annual event, a celebration of rejoicing for end of farming season and the harvest of farm produce, especially yam. So that's what we use in marking the harvest of farm produce.
Speaking on the significance of Iwaji, the principal secretary to the governor, Sir Willie Nwokoye, who described yam as king of all farm crops, noted that Otite, which is popularly known as Iwaji now, is celebrated as a mark of thanksgiving for God's answered prayer for the rich farming season. Sir Willie urged in the Anambra, especially the youth, to embrace the agricultural revolution started by the present government and also to begin to form their own farming cooperatives in their different communities.
Originally, this is Otite. Anambra na-eri Otite, celebrating the first harvest of their king product, which is the yam. It is different from Ezio Okpaligwe, which happens in March. Ezio Okpaligwe is all farmers' rest. Otite, it's the end of the rest and the beginning of the farming season. Every Igbo man knows the significance of Iwaji. It's like rebirth. It's like Eguaro, showing that one year is complete and we are into another year of bounty.
It started from our ancestors who regarded the yam as the chief of all farm produce. So whenever there is a harvest of yam, there is a ceremony like this to thank the God of yam, that is God of heaven, who gave them yam.
Also speaking, an eminent man in the community, Chief Chinyere Nwora, and the former director, Standard Organization of Nigeria, Dr. Ikemod Modu, said that Iwaji Festival is a remarkable event that had existed for years, which serves as a moment of thanksgiving to God, praying for peace and progress of the community. From Amobia in Oka South Council area, I am Ogochukwu Okeke, reporting for ABS News.
And on business news, demand for loans with collateral and without collateral has so far decreased in the third quarter of 2018, despite an increase in the provision of loans by banks. This was disclosed in a quarter-3 report of credit condition survey by the Statistical Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Chidinma Ikanyong has more on this.
It stated that demand for secured lending for house purchase decreased in Q3 2018, but more lenders expect demand for secure lending to increase in the next quarter. The proportion of loan applications approved decreased even though lenders maintained the same credit scoring criteria. According to the report, the demand for total unsecured lending from household decreased in the current quarter but was expected to increase in the next quarter. Despite lenders' resolve to tighten the credit scoring criteria, the proportion of approved unsecured loan application increased in the current quarter and was expected to increase in the next quarter. It added that lenders reported increased demand for corporate credit from all firm sizes in Q3 2018.
And on the foreign scene, negotiators from Canada and the United States went down to the wire but were able to reach an agreement on a new free trade pact that will include Mexico. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, update replaces the nearly 25-year-old North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, which U.S. President Donald Trump had labeled a disaster and promised to cancel. The rewrite will result in freer markets, fairer trade, and robust economic growth in the region, according to the joint statement from the U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland. After more than a year of talks and 6 weeks of intense discussions, the governments were able to overcome their differences, with both sides conceding some ground, but both hailing the agreement as a good deal for their citizens in the region of 500 million residents that conducts about $1 trillion in trade in a year. Reports from Washington, D.C. said the U.S. is trumpeting this as a win for all three nations involved. Sports news is next with Kenechukwu Chukwode.
CSK Moscow goalkeeper Igor Akinfeev, Russia's World Cup team captain, has announced he was retiring from international football after playing 111 times for his country. Akinfeev, 32, said after 15 years with the international side, he has decided to give way to his young colleagues and to focus completely on his club duties. At the World Cup, Akinfeev played every minute of Russia's matches as they confounded pre-tournament predictions by reaching to the last 8, where they were beaten by eventual finalist Croatia in a penalty shootout. Meanwhile, a Las Vegas woman has publicly come forward with rape allegations against soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. Catherine Mayorga says the Portuguese footballer raped her in a Las Vegas hotel in 2009 while she repeatedly screamed no, according to a lawsuit filed Friday in Clark County. After the attack, according to the lawsuit, Ronaldo apologized, stating he was sorry. He was usually a gentleman. The lawsuit alleges that Ronaldo himself told his team of fixers that she said no and stopped several times. However, Ronaldo has rebuffed the accusations as fake news.
That report concludes our news for tonight, but remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/absradiotv. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at absradiotv. And just before we go, another look at the top stories. President Muhammad Buhari, Governor Obiano, others have expressed hope for a better, stronger, and united Nigeria as the country turns 58. Anambra head teacher has emerged best administrator in Nigeria. APC has shifted Guba primaries in Lagos and 2 other states. And we also told you on the foreign scene that US, Mexico, Canada have closed new trade deal to replace NAFTA. And that's the news. I am Franklin Onyekachi, thanking you for watching. Happy Independence Anniversary.